what if obviously from the writer's perspective, if the people we think who wrote the New Testament, what if they didn't write the New Testament? Because a lot of this is based on the fact that if they wrote it, they would have all these problems. What if they didn't write it?
These are the books that are the most disputed as to who wrote. Nobody denies that Paul wrote his works, especially the 7 that are all accepted. But let's take a look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay? Why do we think these people wrote them? Now, notice Matthew, Mark, and John are Jews. Luke is not. Okay? First of all, if you look at the confirmation from authors at the time, Tertullian, who lived in 207, Clement of Alexandria, 180, Irenaeus of Lyons, 180, the Muratorian fragment is 170, Justin Martyrs, 150, Papias, 125. They're saying that these are the writers of the Gospels. Secondly, there's only one human link separating John, who obviously wrote John, from Irenaeus, and that was Polycarp. So these people are very close. It would be like someone saying, my grandfather did X. That's how close they were in terms of writing the documents. Claims are from every quarter of the Roman Empire. So it's not just one area that people are saying that these are the 4 authors of the 4 Gospels. Every area of the Roman Empire, there are people writing saying these are the 4 people. There are no rival claims about authorship. Nobody is saying that these people were not the people that wrote the Gospels. And finally, these are unlikely inventions. Why would you say that, say, Mark wrote the Gospel of Mark when Peter, the name Peter would have carried a lot more weight, right? I mean, he was the primary apostle, yet notice Peter doesn't write a gospel, he writes 2 letters. If I want to pass off information and get people to believe it, I'm going to say Peter wrote it. I'm not going to pick Luke either. You know, Luke's not even an eyewitness. I mean, he's an eyewitness with Paul, but he's not an eyewitness of Jesus. So why am I picking Luke to write a gospel? In other words, if you were making this up, you wouldn't pick these names. You might pick Matthew and John, but you wouldn't pick Mark and Luke. So there's no reason for them to invent that these were the names of the writers of the New Testament. In every manuscript we have that has a title page, it always has the gospel according to Mark, Luke, John, or Matthew. This idea that the Gospels were anonymous is nonsense. We've never found a manuscript with a title page that didn't have the name on it. All right? So the best evidence we have are these are the people that wrote them. And if they didn't write them, the guy who, say, wrote Matthew, he really knew Jewish culture, didn't he? Because it's written to the Jews. He quotes the Old Testament more than anybody else.